What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the very first edition of Sippin' and Stories. Stories while sipping? Stories while sipping. Is that right?
Drinking and...
Stories while sipping. So, if you're new to the channel, you're new to me, my name is Justin Hickox. This is my wife, Deanna Hickox. Most of my channel is all about sharing tips with you as a client to help you understand your hair better, usually while I take you on random adventures through hikes and stuff. But on this particular series, I wanted to start doing a series where we actually, share stories from the salon. Mainly because I did a poll, which you'll see right here, and so here you go. And I figured we would do it while we were enjoying a glass of, in this case, wine. So hopefully with some of these stories, I'm gonna be able to share a little bit of insight for you so that you'll have a better idea of maybe what to do or what not to do at the salon. You make it a little kind of PSA, if you will. Let's just dive into the story. So first of all, you have to know that when I grew up, before I actually started going to school for hair and before I became a hairstylist, my parents had salons. So the way this particular salon functioned was when you started working for us, you had to go through an apprenticeship program and then you had to decide if you're going to do cut or if you're going to do color. And because we were departmentalized, meaning because some people did cut and some people did color, there were two kind of separate spaces. There was the cutting floor and then there was a coloring floor. If you had an assistant, usually what would happen is if you were a cutter, you would be doing the haircut and then your assistant would go grab the next client. They would be doing the shampoo with them. Then they would bring them over to your chair. And this gave me time to go and maybe have a client that's getting color with a colorist. I could go say hi really fast. Hey, how you doing? I'll see you in just a second. And then I could go back to my next client. And when they came over, it wouldn't be just, oh, hey, great to see you. You know, it's a little bit more of a personal touch, right? So I walk back to the color room to say hello to my next client. Okay, so you don't know the story, but here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you 20 bucks. I'll say $20 if you can tell me how this plastic bag, and I'm gonna give you a second, I'm gonna tell a little bit more about the story, but if you can tell me how that plastic bag is gonna play into the story, I'll give you 20 bucks.
Okay.
You think you can?
I have no clue.
Okay. Well, you know what? Hold on one second. Why don't you grab my wallet real quick and I'll see what I'll give you if I can. So grab my wallet. Do you know where it is?
No clue.
Let me find it. Hold on a second. Watch this. Let's just bring it. Look at that. My wallet is ringing. Stop ringing. Okay. That's a terrible segue, but here's the deal. Before we jump back into the rest of the story, this wallet was sent to me by Exter. Guess what's coming up? Well, if you're watching this when it airs, February 14th. It's right around the corner. That means Valentine's Day. Babe, how do you like buying gifts for me?
I hate it.
Why?
Because you're picky.
So what do you do?
So I don't get you anything.
That's the truth right there. But in all honesty, then I started thinking, like, you know what? Many of you probably have a significant other or somebody in your life that is hard to buy for. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you're looking for something. I'm like, that's actually a really good idea. And I love it. You know why I love it? One of the main reasons? Well, watch this. Was that magic? I feel like that was magic. That was amazing. No, in all honesty, you know what I usually do? I usually get my other wallets and I'm trying to pull my stupid cards out of the thing and I can't get them. And then I come around with something like this. I'm like, oh, there's the card I need. That is so handy to me. How cool is it that I can ring my card because of this little thing? So there's a tracker. And so I can actually use this to find this wallet, right? Or so I can actually use it to find my phone. And even if this is on silent, it'll still ring. Oh. You just hit that button twice, boom, boom, and it does this. That is so convenient to me.
Yeah.
And I can even use, there's a map on here. I'm not gonna use it so you don't see where we live, but it actually pinpoints the wallet. So if I lose this on a trail, because I'm usually in the woods hiking, I can go walk back, see on my map and be like, oh, there it is. Or if somebody takes it, there it is. The only thing I don't love about this, there's not a lot of space for a lot of cash in here, right? But that's neither here nor there. But they actually are having a 20% off sale right now through February 14th. That doesn't suck. So there's gonna be a link in the description of this below. If you go ahead and click on that, you're gonna head over there and get that 20% discount. And full disclosure, it is an affiliate link. So if you click on it, you won't get charged any extra, but I will make a very small amount. Honestly, that's not why I'm telling you about this. I really don't care either way, but nonetheless, there is a link in the description. So if you want to support the channel, cool, check it out.
Now I know what I'm getting you for Valentine's Day.
I already have it.
Different color.
Fair point. with that said, this does come into play. That $20 is sitting on there. If you can tell me how, okay? Let me get back to the story and then we'll ask you. I'll give you a little bit more and then we'll talk about it.
Got it.
So here's what happens. I walk back because I've got a client and I'm gonna say hi to her while she's getting color. As I walk back into the color room, now keep in mind, there are a lot of people there. So when I walk by, I see a client sitting in the chair speaking to her stylist. And I have to walk past them, right around them, to get to my client. As I'm walking by, I hear her client say, I want my color to match my natural color. And here I have an example. I have actually some of my natural hair that I can show you so that you can pick the natural color, which to me was like, that's a great idea, right? Why would you, I mean, that makes sense to me. If you've got your natural color of your hair and you can actually use that to explain this is the color I want, that's a great visual to me.
Yeah.
So it made perfect sense. Go in my client and I was like, hey, how you doing? Great to see you. I'm gonna see you in just a minute. How's everything going? Fantastic. All right, we'll see you in about 45 minutes when you're done. As I turn around, this other client is now done in her bag. She has reached in. Where does that come into play now? You know yet?
Well, she clearly has a sample of her natural hair color.
Okay, that's part of it. Can you give me any more depth into that?
So, I don't, like, maybe her underneath hair? Like,
Okay, you're wrong. So, this is what happens. As I walk by, and now her stylist had an assistant as well, so her assistant standing there, their faces, and all of the other clients in all the chairs around are just staring over there, right? And I'm like, what is going on? What just happened? And I noticed that everybody is looking like, oh my. And this client, is holding up this bag. And as I look in the bag, I realize, oh, that's her real hair. But that's not hair from her head.
oh, so your natural hair color is permed.
Oh my God. It took me 2 seconds to understand what you just meant. That is so, okay, I feel like this is going very much downhill, and that is not the premise of this channel.
Sorry.
But wow.
Sorry.
Yes.
This is what happens when you put me on. Allow me to talk.
And at that moment, as a stylist, all I can think of is, how does the colorist react to that?
Like in my head, I have follow-up questions. Were they trimmed or pulled? Like I don't know. I don't know why I think that. Like
No.
how did she harvest this hair? Like,
Please don't ever use the word harvest again, ever, in a scenario like that.
Okay.
Never. Let's just move along. Her stylist handled it like a champ. She said, thank you very much for bringing it in. I appreciate that. I think I have a good idea of what your natural color is. And we'll go ahead and mix something up. Let's move on. Here is where the PSA would come for you. Her original idea, what I thought, actually didn't make sense. Because as somebody that does color as well as cuts, it can be really hard to figure out what a client means by red or yellow or or natural color, right? It can be hard to describe. So if you have hair on your head that is your natural color and it gets cut, and you can maybe keep some of that. I've never had anybody do it, but maybe have some of that you keep so that if you need to use that as a reference, you can use it as a reference. It may be a great option for you to say, this is what I mean by what I'm saying. If this is your first time with us,
I'm sorry.
I feel like I should apologize. Yeah. But nonetheless, I hope that at minimum entertained you a little bit. If you like this, honestly, I would love to hear it. Let me know below, because if you want to see more of it, we would definitely do more of it. Otherwise, go ahead and watch one of these 2 videos if you actually want to learn something and not just be entertained. And we'll see you next week. Have a great afternoon. Bye.